Hello friends and welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. This week we're going to have a little bit of fun. It is the festive season, it is the holiday season, so I thought we'll try and lighten things up a little bit. But you know, I always start with those kind of intentions and the readings get quite deep quite quickly because we have no real control over that. But anyway, this week friends, I am going to be working with the World of Hilda Tarot. This deck, let me tell you, it's all about this lady. Her name is Hilda. She is a little bit voluptuous. She is a little bit fabulous. She is just amazing. And the antics that she gets up with. So yeah, expect to see expect to see a lot of Hilda in our TarotScopes for this week. So basically what the plan is, I have my story dice over here. I haven't used my story dice in such a long time. I had so much fun this week. On Thursday night I did live readings for my paid monthly members, and I used my charms. I still have them on my desk with me, and then I used them on Friday for the daily tarot reading, and I thought, you know what, I love all forms of divination, and sometimes we get so bogged down in tarot, which is amazing. You know, I love my tarot, but every now and again it's nice to just shake things up a little bit. So I thought today we would use some story dice with the tarot to see what kind of messages we get. So I have quite a few different sets of story dice in here. I don't have all of them that are available, but I will be getting as time allows. But yeah, I have quite a few in the bag. I don't know how else to show them all to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to draw a tarot card for each sign of the zodiac, because that's what we do in TarotScopes, individual readings for each sign of the zodiac. So we will draw 2 tarot cards, and then I will draw 3 story dice to plonk on top, and yeah, just to see what messages we get from the story dice that add to the tarot. So if this is the first time that you are doing TarotScopes with me, welcome. I do hope that you enjoy, and I do hope that you come back for more. On this channel, on a 8 a.m. South African time on a Sunday, I generally release TarotScopes, which are individual readings for each sign of the zodiac. The intention is that it be for your sun sign and or your rising sign, your ascendant, if you know what that is. Otherwise, just your sun sign is absolutely fine. I do have timestamps down below to help you navigate the reading. So if you want to watch, you know, for yourself or for family members or anybody else that you have an interest in, you absolutely can jump around as much as you want to. All I ask in return is a thumbs up from you if you enjoyed the video, and comments are always so welcomed and appreciated. Remember, Monday to Friday I do offer you daily tarot readings. On YouTube they are done as shorts, on Instagram, on Facebook they are done as reels, and on TikTok they're just done as a normal TikTok video. So you can find me all over the place. Fridays I do an extended reading, a little bit more detailed, a little bit longer, but generally Monday to Thursday it's less than 60 seconds. Like, it is just short, sweet, and to the point. So yeah, I hope you enjoy all the content, and I am available for personal readings. If anybody wants to book, you just reach out to me. My preferred means of contact is via WhatsApp. It's just easier to keep everything in one place. And yeah, let's get into this week's TarotScopes. I'm going to switch over to starting with Aries, and we move all the way through the zodiac through to Pisces, and I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you at your zodiac. Aries, hello and welcome. Let's get into your reading and see what does this week ahead have in store for you. So Aries, World of Hilda, giving her a little shuffle. The deck was nicely shuffled before we started, so we're not going to spend too much time shuffling. Card number 1 for you this week, Aries, we have the World. Oh, I love it. Isn't she gorgeous? Hilda just makes me smile. And our second card we have is the Page of Cups. So we're going to add some story dice in a second, but let's just have a look at these 2 cards, okay? So the first thing that we notice is how carefree Hilda is. But yes, she's carefree in every single card. We've got the World, and there she has her wreath, her winner's wreath, her victory wreath that she's busy creating, that she's busy making out of flowers. And she is celebrating the moment. She is in that space celebrating. She's not thinking about the chores that she has to do tomorrow. She's not thinking about, you know, the next adventure, the next challenge. She is just reveling in this moment. And I have to say, Aries, that is something that we don't often do. We get so caught up in the next goal, the next dream, the next ambition, the next, the next whatever, that we actually forget to celebrate and enjoy the moment that is right in front of us. So basically what Hilda is saying to you with the World card coming through, Aries, is this week. Don't think about, oh, what am I going to do next year? What am I going to do next month? What does next week look like? What does tomorrow look like? This week of the 11th to the 17th of December, just focus on today. Focus on the moment. Focus on being present in this space and celebrating the victories of this moment, of this space, because there are many. When we get to this part of the year, we are all paying attention to and acknowledging our accomplishments, our achievements, and the things that we've done. So let's do exactly that. Don't go, okay, so I finished that now. What next? Just take a minute, take a moment to celebrate and enjoy that which is right in front of you. And do it with a dollop of enthusiasm. It's a word I have said excessively this week, dollop. It is clearly the word of the week. But Page of Cups, if we have a look at it, so there she is treading water. Okay, she is walking across the bottom. She can only see what's above water. She can't see what's below water. She has got some protection with her, but I actually want you to see her facial expression. So there is this little fishy that's taking a nibble of her behind, and she's like, oh, what's that? Okay, so there's curiosity, there's intrigue that's coming through, and that's the key words for the Page of Cups. It is about that intrigue, it is about that enthusiasm, it is about that excitement. So this is a week, even though you don't know what's going on, don't automatically jump to fear, don't automatically jump to panic and stress and anxiety. Just accept things for what they are, celebrate the moment. But let's see what story dice want to add. So I'm just going to grab randomly 3. Okay, so I have 1, making sure I put it the right way up. Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay, let me grab another over there. Oh, this is getting very interesting. And one more. Oh, digging. Okay. So if we look at our story dice, what story are they adding to the picture? So the first one we have, and again, I'll bring it closer so that you can see. This is a dynamite trigger, okay? So it's a plunger. I don't know what the word is. A dynamite. So when you push it down, the dynamite explodes. It goes off. So it is the action to trigger an event, okay? So it's saying to you, right, Aries, that if you are celebrating and acknowledging that which you've achieved and accomplished in this moment with a dollop of enthusiasm and excitement, that will trigger excitement, joy, more of the same in your life. Whereas if you go through life with the sour face, feeling like, oh, hard done by and nothing is right, nothing is good, life is hard and difficult, then that's exactly what you're attracting. So we want to make sure, like when unusual, strange things happen, it's the way that you react and respond that's important and significant. And then it's about making your world a bit bigger. When I see planets like this, it's about making your world a bit bigger. It's about focusing not just on the nitty-gritty, not just on the little things, but it is because the events that we are triggering right now, Aries, are going to be massive. Absolutely massive. So are you going to be excited, enthusiastic, celebratory? I don't know if that's a word. Um, or are you going to be worried, fearful, and anxious? So you are the trigger. You are the one that initiates. And honestly, the world is your oyster. There is so much that is available to you, but it all depends on how you tackle it and how you handle it as to how things are going to develop for you. So Aries, this week, it is important to be in the now, to be in the moment, celebrating and acknowledging that which you've achieved. When unusual and strange things happen, get excited about it, get enthusiastic about it. Do not allow it to make you feel nervous or anxious. Trigger positive events in your life. Do not be negative, do not be anxious, do not be grumpy, do not be fearful of the unknown, because the world is your oyster. The universe is out there for you. There is no limit to what you can do and what you can achieve with a little bit of enthusiasm. Much love and many blessings, Aries, from our heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Taurus, hello and welcome. Let's get into your reading and see what does this week of the 11th to the 17th of December have in store for you. So giving World of Hilda a tarot. Right, let's start that again. Giving the world of Hilda Tarot a shuffle. Let's cut the deck. I have my story dice here. We're going to be using them in a second. So card number 1, Taurus, is the Hierophant. And card number 2 is the Hermit. Oh, this is interesting. 2 major arcana cards. And what I like about these 2 cards is, even though they, card number 5, card number 9, we've got daylight, we've got nighttime. So we've got the 2 opposites there. But in both of them, she is remaining still, remaining present, and remaining in the moment. So if we look at the Hierophant card, so there she's sitting on her log. Look at that expression on her face. Isn't she just fabulous? She is surrounded by all her friends, okay? Every single one of these creatures are her friends. She absolutely loves and adores them. And she is sitting and reading them. Don't forget the bird on her hat. And she is sitting and reading them a story from the Animal Stories book. But you can see how animated she is, how animated her expressions are, how animated her I can just hear her little voice, you know, as she gets all into the story. And then this happened. And then, you know, like I can just absolutely hear her getting so excited. What is the Hierophant, though? The Hierophant in tarot is the card of passing on learning, passing on instruction, passing on lessons, but it's also about keeping things so simple that people don't understand the morals. The morals are not obvious, not easily obvious, but they're there in the undercurrent. So everybody thinks they're being entertained. Everybody thinks that they're just, you know, learning, I'm going to call it surface level stuff, but there's so much going on further down, deeper, that maybe isn't immediately obvious. What the Hierophant is saying to you here is be open to the life lessons that are coming your way that may be disguised as other simpler, easier situations. Let's look at the Hermit card for a bit. So there she is standing. She's got her little lantern, and as you can see, her lantern casts only a very, very small glow. It's not really, you know, illuminating the entire space, but she's quite happy and she's looking up at the stars. Why is she looking up at the stars? Because she's paying attention to where she is at in life. She's putting things into perspective. She is being, like, even though she's looking out at the stars, she's being very much internal reflective as to who she is, what she is, why she is, where she is. Okay, this little lantern, it is going to, when she's ready to take a step, when she's ready to move on, it is going to illuminate one step at a time for her. So when she's stepping, she can take a safe step, but she can't see, you know, 10 meters ahead, 20 meters ahead, what's awaiting for her. She can only literally see one step at a time. And sometimes in life, that's exactly what we need to do. So, Taurus, how does this relate to you? We're going to add story dice in a second, but how does this relate to you for this week? Well, the message is accept the lessons that the universe is teaching you. Okay, do not question them. Do not try and get too deep with them. Accept things on the surface level. Enjoy and appreciate them on the surface level, knowing that there are lessons, but also to pay attention to where you're at in life at the moment. Because, you know, sometimes we're so busy chasing the train, we forget that we've run right past the train station. Okay, so pay attention to where you are. Pay attention to who you are, what you're going through. Understanding that, yes, we're at the end of 2023. We can see 2024, but we can't see what 2024 is going to be about. And that's okay, because you're still in 2023. So be in this moment. Be in this space. Enjoy and appreciate and value 2023 this week for what it has to offer you, without overthinking about what the future may hold, because this moment, right here, right now, this moment, this step right here, right now, is literally the only thing that's important for you, Taurus. Let's add some story dice. I'm just going to grab 3 at random to add to our stories, right? So there I have one. I don't know which way it goes. It goes that way. With a bit of barbecue braai happening there, a rotisserie. Okay, let's grab one more randomly there, turning it around. Okay, we've got the target, and one more over there, turning it around randomly. And what do we have? A wrecking ball. I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is hysterical. Oh, this is hysterical. Okay, so the first dice we have is a rotisserie. What is a rotisserie, right? A rotisserie is when there is, like, it's not something you're going to do for an average meal for a family, right? Unless your family is absolutely massive. But a rotisserie is, to me, we do this kind of thing when there is celebration, when there is gathering, when there are people coming together for a common purpose. And generally it's to celebrate, it's to acknowledge. It is a ritual, it is an offering, it is a celebration. We have a target and we have hit the target. Okay, so we have hit the bullseye, we have hit the target on there, and then we have a wrecking ball. And a wrecking ball is to bring down things that no longer serve us, things that no longer have purpose or function in our life. So Taurus, the message that's coming through for you is there are lessons this week. Pay attention to only this moment, only this space, only this step. Understand that there are always reasons to celebrate, and we don't need to wait for big special events. Sometimes, just acknowledging that we've hit the target, that we've achieved our goals, that we have reached the end is what's important, and celebrate it. You don't have to celebrate it big. We can celebrate small. We can stick within our one step, but it's also about breaking down barriers, breaking down expectations, breaking down the walls that have stopped you from previously enjoying the simple things in life. So this is what I'm getting. Celebrate achievement, break down the walls that have been preventing you from celebrating achievement, because that's really what this message is, Taurus. I love that for you. So this is a week to do just that. This is a week for being very active in your present moment, accepting the lessons that Spirit have to offer you, that this week has to offer you. Focus only on you in this space now. Celebrate achievements and accomplishments, and break down the rules, the walls, the barriers that have been preventing you from living the best life that you need. Much love and many blessings, Taurus, from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Gemini, hello and welcome. I'm so excited. Let's see what this week has in store for you. So Gemini, shuffling the World of Hilda Tarot. We're going to draw 2 cards, and then I will grab some story dice to add to the story. So let's cut this deck. Card number 1, Gemini, let's get straight into it. We have the Empress, a lot of major arcanas coming through this week. Second card for you, Gemini, we have the Moon, again, major arcana card. So quite interesting. I love the fact that she's looking at herself. The 2 Hildas are staring at each other, but let's take them one by one. So if we look at the Empress card, there she sits on her little throne. She is feeling very proud and very, very excited. She's sitting very proper. She's being a true lady, but just look at her expression. Isn't she gorgeous? Like, that little face is just the cutest thing you've ever seen, okay? So basically what Hilda's doing with the Empress card is she understands the power that she has to create life. She understands the power that she has to bring things to life, bring things into being, okay? But she doesn't let it get to her. She doesn't let it become an ego, arrogant kind of thing. She just quietly sits there knowing the power that she has to trigger, to initiate, to bring things to life. Things, situations, circumstances, children, all of those kind of things, anything, just how does a seed suddenly start germinating and developing into a flower, a plant, a tree? Well, the Empress, it's her energy, the goddess energy of triggering life, okay? That is the potential. That is what she is all about. And then we've got the Moon, and here we have Hilda in the middle of the night. How do I know it's the middle of the night? Because she's holding a little candle and she's wearing her pajamas and her slippers, okay? And she's obviously heard a noise in the night outside, and she's stepped outside. She's carrying a candle because her torch batteries are flat, and she's gone outside with the candle to try and see. But as we can see, the candle is not really shedding a lot of light. It's not really illuminating a massive space. Now, did you notice the little puppy in the background? Hence, the little puppy is, I think, what made the noise. The little puppy was probably digging and playing and doing what little puppies do. But Hilda heard a noise. She has found the courage and the confidence to step outside in her most vulnerable, with a tiny little light shedding only a small amount of glow, to go and investigate what the noise is. She's petrified. She's afraid. Of course she is. Wouldn't you be? But she's still, even though she's afraid, even though she's nervous and fearful, she still finds the courage and the confidence to step out and to go and investigate. She's going to find out very soon who the culprit is of the noise. And that's what the Moon card is. The Moon is the card of facing your fears. So it's initiating life. It's triggering things, bringing things into being, even if it scares you. And that is what you have to do this week, Gemini. That's what you have to do. You've got to bring things into life, even if it scares you. So there is something that needs to be triggered, activated, switched on, started, okay? Use all of those words with the Empress card. So there is something that you need to trigger, that you need to start, that you need to initiate, but you're afraid, you're nervous, because yes, things could go wrong. Yes, it could be disastrous, but it also could be fabulous. It could be, I mean, I'm just imagining, the fun puppy cuddles and puppy licks and kisses that you get afterwards. So Gemini, for you, it's about finding the courage and the confidence to start to trigger, to initiate something, even if it scares you, because you know what, it's not going to be so scary. Once you've actually faced the fear, you're going to see that it's not so scary after all. Let's add some story dice to the mix and see what the message is. So from my bag of story dice, I am going to grab 3 at random. Okay, grabbing that one, turning it around a few times, putting it there. I don't even know if I'm putting it down straight. Okay, grabbing another one. It says Bob. All right, one more. And turning it around. All right, so let's have a look. So the first dice we have, and I don't even know quite what I'm looking at. This to me looks like I don't know, like a concrete slab, and he's pushing it. And you can see that he's exerting himself, okay? You can see that he is struggling. He's finding it really hard to push this slab, this block, to wherever it needs to be, okay? So there is struggle, there is difficulty, there is anxiety, and a little bit of exertion. That's the word I was looking for, all right? So we've got exertion. Then we've got Bob. Now let's look at Bob. Isn't Bob cute? So Bob is clearly a little robot character, and Bob has these hands that look like they can, tighten things, loosen things. So Bob looks like he's a helpful fella, right? And then we have getting ourselves into a bit of a sticky mess. So we have the sticky blob on the ground, we're standing in it, and you can see that as we lift our leg, we seem to be stuck in the sticky blob. So Gemini, what does all of this mean for you? Well, it's hard work. Whatever this is that you need to trigger, that you need to initiate, that you need to get started, this fear that you have to face, it is hard work. Getting yourself to this point has been a slog. It has been really, really challenging, really, really difficult. There are things, I'm saying things. Bob may represent a person, Bob may represent a machine, Bob may represent an opportunity, Bob represents something helpful. Okay. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. So Bob represents something helpful. So Gemini, the message that's coming through to you is it has been difficult. It has been a slog. There is assistance available to you. You need to use the assistance. Put your hand up and say, hey, can somebody help me? Can I borrow your machine? Can I? Like, you need to, because remember, the Empress is about you initiating, starting, triggering, beginning, bringing life to, even though it's scary. And maybe asking for help is something that you're not familiar with or comfortable with or used to doing. And yes, you have been doing this on your own by yourself for such a long time, but Bob is available to help you. Identify who your Bob is, what your Bob is, and let them help you, because you've got yourself in a bit of a sticky mess. Okay, Gemini? And the only way that you're going to get out of that sticky mess is with a bit of help. The more you struggle on your own, imagine the sticky mess is now like quicksand, okay? The more you resist, and the more you struggle on your own, the more you try and figure it out on yourself, the deeper you sink into the quicksand. So the Empress and the Moon is telling you that you've got to dig deep and face your deepest, darkest fears. You've got to acknowledge it for yourself, because it's only when you do that opportunity for change will come about. So Gemini, this week, it's interesting. You are the one that needs to trigger. You are the one that needs to put your hand up and say, can I have some help? You are the one that has to dig deep to face your fears in order to ask for help, to get you out of the sticky mess. But this week, it's like you can't do it on your own. You need help. Put your hand up, invite people to help you, ask people to help you. And I think you may be quite pleasantly surprised as to what that help looks like and how great and fabulous and wonderful it actually is. So Gemini, much love and many blessings from my heart to yours, and until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to the Cancerians. Let's get into your reading and see what does this week have in store for you. So giving World of Hilda Tarot a shuffle. Let's cut the deck and let's see what this week has in store for you. I've got story dice on the side here. We're going to bring them into the reading towards the end. So Cancerians, card number 1 for you is the King of Cups. Oh, isn't that fabulous? I love Hilda. She just makes me smile. And card number 2 for you is the Queen of Cups. So we've got a pair here, okay? We've got the masculine and the feminine pair happening here, even though Hilda, and it's all Hilda, it's all about Hilda because we love Hilda. So let's look at King of Cups, right? What is she doing? First of all, she's in some turbulent waters, isn't she? She's sitting, or I don't know if she's sitting because I think she's about to come off her little tube, right? So she was quite merrily sitting on her tube with her trusty companion, with her little friend, and all of a sudden the waters went crazy. All of a sudden the tide came in. All of a sudden there was, you know, whatever the waves came crashing in around her. She is coming a cropper. She's coming off her tube, right? But what is she doing in the process? She's not focusing on herself. She's not focusing on the tube. Her focus is on keeping her trusty friend and companion safe. And that is the message of the King of Cups. The message of the King of Cups is paying attention to everybody else's needs, making sure that everybody else is emotionally taken care of. King of Cups is about making sure that amongst the chaos, amongst the disaster and the tragedy and the whatever else that's happening over here, that your only focus is on caring for others. So you know what, Cancerians, that is exactly the message for you this week. And I don't think that's different from any other time. Because we know that the Cancerians are always taking care of other people, always putting everybody else's needs, wants, and desires before your own. So King of Cups is basically saying to you, you know, that this week in particular, though, you are going to have to be paying attention to everybody else around you. There are people around you who need you. There are people around you who need your love and support. Even if you feel like you're drowning, even if you feel as if things are going a bit difficult, because you know what? You can do both, right? And that's what I'm saying to you here. We've got the King and the Queen of Cups. If we look at our Queen of Cups, Cancerian, so there she sits in her rocking chair. Now, rocking chairs are all about nurturing the self. Rocking chairs are all about that kind of slow, repetitive, backwards and forwards rocking motion that makes you feel as if everything's going to be okay. And a foot soak does exactly the same thing. A foot soak also makes you feel loved, nurtured, and taken care of. She's also in her PJs. Again, if you've ever had a PJ day, she's got a cup of a pot of her favorite tea, you know, on the boil. So she's nurturing the self. So in the King, we're taking care of everybody else. And in the Queen, we're taking care of self. So Cancerians, yes, there are people who need you this week. There are people who need you to support them, to help them, to ease their burdens, to alleviate struggle, all of those kind of things. But don't forget to nurture the self as well. I'm going to grab from my bag of story dice. I'm going to grab 3, just randomly, place them down the middle to see what they want to add. Okay, so grabbing that one over there, turning it around a few times. I don't know which way that goes. I don't know which way that goes. I'm going to leave it that way. I have no idea what that is. We're going to try and identify it in a second. Next story dice we have, okay, we have a tennis ball and one more story dice coming over there. And, oh, we have, this one's already just come out for Gemini, so that's quite interesting. All right, let's see if we can identify what this is. What is this? What is this? I'm going to turn it around a few times until something comes into view. I really do feel like it is this way. Is it a lighthouse? Can I call it a lighthouse? I don't think so, but I'm going to go with lighthouse because to me, like this dark bit at the top is like the light shining. The light shining. Nope. Stairs? Are we going to go stairs? I honestly don't know. What is the theme? Okay. So the theme of this particular dice, we've got the sun and the moon. We've got 2 people, you know, one's carrying something, helping each other. We have got, I have no idea. Okay, we have a grumpy face, but he's got his mouth zipped closed. We have got somebody who is shouldering into something, pushing something open with their shoulder. And, okay, so that doesn't, oh, and then we've got somebody here who is using binoculars to look into the future. Look ahead. All right, so what would this be then? I am going to go with lighthouse. You know what? I have to trust the intuition. If you have an idea, Cancerians, or what, like maybe it's obvious to you what it is and I've missed the boat completely, please do comment below. But I'm going with lighthouse. What do lighthouses do? They offer warning. They offer a little bit of foresight that there is impending danger, okay? So when they shine their light, and you know what? I get it now, definitely going lighthouse, because I thought this dark section here was the light, but this white section is the light. The dark is obviously the darkness. So this is the lighthouse's light spinning around, right? I'm sticking with lighthouse, right? Sticking with lighthouse. So we've got other people in trouble that you need to protect. You've got yourself that needs a bit of nurturing. And that's exactly what the lighthouse is doing. The lighthouse is just constantly, whether people need the warning or not, the lighthouse is constantly putting the warning out, because when somebody needs the warning, the lighthouse needs to be there to assist. All right. We have a tennis ball. Now, my immediate reaction and my immediate response to a tennis ball, if you've ever watched or played tennis, you know the ball goes one way, one way. One way, one way. It's this back and forward motion. It's this continuous, repetitive backwards and forwards motion, just like a lighthouse, constantly rotating, constantly spinning, constantly shining its light, so that from anybody from far away, it looks like the light comes on and the light goes off. Tennis, the ball is going from one side to the other, and you only know the ball's coming your way when you see it, and then you hit it and it goes. So you hit, 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 hit. Okay, so to me both of these are talking about continuous, repetitive, ongoing. Lighthouse is reflecting, telling people be careful, there is danger. This is self-protection, because the ball is coming at you and you're hitting the ball away. So this is about, again, helping others and helping the self. All right, so there's the theme that's coming through. I'm loving this. And then our final dice that we have here, Cancerians. So here we have you pushing what looks like a big block into a hole of some kind. But look at the exertion, look at the struggle, look how difficult it is. And why is it difficult? Well, because you're doing it on your own, okay? You don't have support, you don't have help. It's like you and you alone that needs to deal with this, that needs to handle this. So the message that's coming through for you here, Cancerians, is that this week you are all about taking care of others, protecting others, nurturing others, looking after others. You've got to make sure that you take care of yourself, because if you are not strong, if you are not capable, how can you be there for others? You are always warning, you are always protecting, nurturing, safeguarding, but you're doing it completely on your own. And maybe just understand that sometimes you can ask for help and it won't be a bad thing if the help comes. So Cancerians, interesting week for you. Sending you much love and many blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Leo, hello and welcome. All right, let's shuffle the World of Hilda Tarot and get some cards to see what does your week ahead look like, what's in store for you, if I can even pick up the cards. Okay, so cards are shuffled, Leo. Let's cut the deck. Card number 1, in this bag over here, by the way, I have my story dice. We'll be bringing in some story dice shortly. So card number 1 for you is the Knight of Swords. Oh, Hilda, she's fabulous. Gotta love some Hilda. And card number 2 is the King of Wands. All right, so 2 court cards coming through. And the first thing that jumps at me with both of these cards is the action, okay? So she's not sitting somewhere, like she has her picnic, but she's not sitting there enjoying the food and being still and reflective. She's active, she's doing, she's busy, she's engaged, okay? What is she doing here? Well, she's trying to cross a stream. Is she going to be successful? Who knows? Who knows? But you know what? She's having a lot of fun in the process. And if she happens to fall in the water and get her feet wet, I don't think she's going to mind. I don't think she's going to care. Knight of Swords, let's talk about that, Leo. So Knight of Swords is the card of making progress, but making sure that it's progress done with a strategy. Okay, so having a strategy, a strategic plan that you follow through. What was her strategy? Her strategy was the stick, using the stick as leverage to propel her across. So it's about taking a minute, coming up with a plan. Whether it's a good plan or not is completely irrelevant, but it is about coming up with the plan. So the Knight of Swords is about that strategy, is about that plan, coming up with that, and then executing it, right? She has given it thought. She has thought about it, but she hasn't pondered it for too long. She's like, okay, pen and paper, quickly write down a plan, draw it out, and now let's do it. Find a stick and boom, jump straight into action. So it is about whatever the plan is that you're dealing with at the moment, Leo, whatever's going on in your life at the moment, whatever the strategy is, do not over analyze it. Do not get too caught up in the strategy, the plan, the thinking. Like today, this week, okay, this week, this is the time for you to jump into action. This is the time for you to get busy, to get involved, and this is the time for you to execute the plan. Now we look at the King of Wands. So she's clearly out in the garden, right? Out in a field of some kind. She has got a little fruit basket with her. I can see some apples in there. So, you know, she's got some nourishment. She's got everything her heart desires. She's not eating the apples though. Like, I can't say for certain, but it certainly looks like what she's doing is she's using her umbrella, which is supposed to protect her when it's raining or anything like that. So she's using a protection device, and she's using what is there to sustain her. I'm thinking she's using an apple. It may be one of the mushrooms, but she's hitting it, okay? And if we look at the expression on her face, she's loving it. Life is pretty fabulous, right? Life is pretty fabulous. So I'm thinking it's an apple because of all the juice that I'm seeing here, because a mushroom wouldn't give off so much juice. So it has to be the apples that she's using. But you know what? She's doing it. Why? Because she has an excess of apples, right? It's not like she has a shortage. So she's not wasting. Or maybe she is, but she's having fun. And she's being proactive. Maybe the basket is a bit heavy, so she's thinking if she hits them to their destination, it'll be easier than carrying them. Who knows what's going on in her head? But what she's doing is she is having fun while being proactive. And that is exactly the energy for you this week, Leo. There are things to be done, right? We can see it. There is action in both of these cards. There are definitely things to be done. And the message that's coming across here is plan it a little bit. You know, take a minute to strategize, take a minute to come up with it, and then just execute. Just go with it. Don't overthink it, because when you overthink it, suddenly, you know, those apples become very precious, significant, relevant. The umbrella, like, you know, just use what's available to you, whether it be a stick, whether it is an umbrella and an apple. Use what's available to you to overcome obstacles, that's that, and to have some fun in the progress. Right, let's see what story dice want to add. So in this bag, I have a fair amount of story dice. I'm going to grab 3 at random, and let's see what they want to add to the message. Right, so I've got one over there. Oh, looks like he's got a sore thumb. Okay, and I have one over here. We have more anxiety. It looks like exactly the same face. Okay, so we've got some anxiety, and grabbing another one over there. And I'm trying to see which way it goes. I think it goes that way. It's going that way. And it looks like something flying towards the sun. So interesting, Leo, because here I'm saying to you with the tarot, it's like get involved, have a strategy, go for it. Have a strategy, do it. Move, action, overcome obstacles, busy, busy, busy. But now if we look at what the story dice is saying. So we have a throbbing thumb. So that means that yeah, okay, I get it. It's a warning, because if we don't have a solid enough plan, that apple is going to mush and there's going to be mess everywhere. And I think what he's saying to you is that if you don't plan sufficiently, you could accidentally hit your thumb with the hammer. You know, when you're trying to hammer a nail in, boom, 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 like you're holding it this way and you miss with the hammer and you hit your thumb instead. I think that's what's happened. So if you're not careful, you could do some self-injury. All right. We also have the word I hear when I see this is like, yo, like, oh my gosh, that moment of hitting your thumb and that pain on your face. That's what I see with this one. And then we have this beautiful little fairy. Isn't she the cutest little thing you've seen? And it looks like she's flying towards the sun, like a moth does. Oh, look, there's a shiny, there's a pretty, there's a beautiful. Fly to the light, fly to the light. Oh, the light is hot, the light is hot, the light burns. So, oh my gosh, Leo. So the message for you is that this is a busy week. There is a lot going on this week. You have obstacles to overcome. You have many things that you want to and need to do. Knight of Swords is telling you about the strategy. Okay, so don't just jump in, because if you jump in, you're going to splatter apple juice everywhere, which is going to cause you a little bit of pain and discomfort. We need to make sure that we know what we're getting ourselves into. We need to know ahead of time what is it we're getting ourselves into. We need to have a strategy to avoid challenge, to avoid hardship, to avoid difficulty. Okay, so Leo, that is the message that's coming through. There is a lot going on, and there's going to be this kind of, I'm going to call it this natural instinct to just jump in and do stuff. This is telling you be careful, because if you jump in and do stuff, it may have a detrimental effect on you. So strategy before action. Much love and many blessings, Leo, from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Virgo, hello and welcome. Let's see what does this week have in store for you. Shuffling the World of Hilda Tarot. Just giving it a single shuffle. I'm going to draw some story dice for you shortly as well, once we've covered our tarot cards. Card number 1 for you, Virgo, this week. You have got the 10 of Swords. Hilda is getting a bit of a suntan. And the 5 of Swords. Okay. Just moving those out the way ever so slightly. All right, so Virgo, let's have a look and see what we've got. So 10 of Swords, right? And as you can see there, Hilda is lying on her little towel. She's got a book in front of her, and she's getting herself so engrossed in the book that she's not really paying attention to what's going on around her. She's turned, and I want to just bring it closer and see, okay? So she's heard a bit of a buzz, she's heard a bit of a noise, and obviously her little bikini is made out of flowers, which are going to attract bees. So suddenly she's heard this buzz, and there is a whole line of the bees that are coming through. There's even, I think there's bees down the bottom there, and she's a bit nervous. Excuse my dog's barking. She's a bit nervous. She's like, suddenly, oh my gosh, here comes trouble. The fact that she's also lying in the sun with, we don't know if she's got any sunscreen on, but the fact that she's got a book there tells you that she's been lying there for a while. So the message of the 10 of Swords in this particular context, Virgo, is saying to you that this week you may get quite close to danger. If you're not paying attention, if you're keeping still long enough, you're going to be attracting some potential trouble for you. Let's look at the 5 of Swords, because it's continuing with that same story. So there we have Hilda. She's walking a journey. She's got a little picnic basket. So she's sort of heading off to do something for herself with herself, and all her little friends are following her. Okay, why are all her little friends following her? Because she's got a basket of goodies, and they can smell it and they want to partake in her basket of goodies. She keeps stopping every couple of steps and pointing to them and telling them, go back, go back, go back, but they're not listening to her. Look at their little faces. Like they're like all curious and enthusiastic and excited, like, but why can't we join you? So again, it's like the things that are creeping up on you. So this is the message that I'm getting, Virgo, that this week could be a week where things are creeping up on you, and if you're not paying attention, if you're not reacting and responding quick enough, these things could catch up and could end up biting you on your bum, could end up taking your treats and taking your snacks. So we need to be more aware this week, Virgo. Okay, that is the message that's coming through, is you need to be more aware. You need to be more actively involved, engaged in whatever it is that's going on in your life. Do not just hope and pray that everything is okay. You need to be proactive in ensuring that things are okay, ensuring that things are working out the way that you need to. Because if you leave it too late, you're going to get stung and you're going to have to share your lunch. And if that's not what you want to do, then you need to be reacting sooner rather than later. Let's add some story dice and see. So in my bag I have quite a few story dice. I'm going to grab 3. We're going to place them down the middle to see what they add to the story that we already have. So Virgo, story dice number 1, grabbing that one over there, and okay, I'm going to put it that way. That's a, I don't know what you call it, but it's like that ball that the medievals used, and it's full of spikes. And they used it as a method of protection. Let's get one more story dice, grabbing from anywhere. And oh, okay, we have a jester's hat. All right, so we're staying in the medieval times. And then we have our third one that we have. Oh, is this one, bouncing ball. Right, we have a bouncing ball. Okay, so this is quite interesting, right? Because we've got, I don't know what this thing is called. I don't know what it's called, right? So I'm just going to call it a thing that we use to protect ourselves, okay? I don't know which way it goes. And basically this is, again, it's about being proactive. And that's the message that's coming through from the 10 and the 5 of Swords, is about being a bit more proactive instead of waiting for things to get really, really bad. So it's about using what you have available to you to protect yourself. So for example, here with Hilda lying on her towel and the bees fast approaching, she could use the book to sort of swat them away. So it's about using what you have to protect yourself instead of just looking and waiting and hoping that things are okay. It is about being a bit more proactive in the self-defense. Okay, Virgo, being a little bit more proactive with your self-defense. That is the message that's coming through from there. And then we have the Jester's hat. So to me, you know, again, thinking medieval days, we had the king that sat on his throne, and he had his, you know, his array of men around him that were helping him, guiding him, whatever else. And then you had the jester. So the jester's job was to entertain the king. And as long as the jester kept the king laughing, the jester stayed alive. As soon as the king was no longer amused or interested in what the jester was doing or saying, the jester got replaced with another one. But the jester's job was to entertain the king through words, through stories, through actions, through putting on a show, through whatever means necessary. And I often thought that the jester was probably one of the smartest people in the kingdom, because in his silliness, he was often doing and saying things that planted ideas and strategies into the king's mind that the king would then go and carry out, not realizing that the idea came from the jester. So to me, Virgo, the jester's hat is about maybe looking a bit goofy on the outside, but having a purpose and a strategy for the goofiness, and one that sets you apart from everybody else. So the message again, Virgo, don't wait until it's too late. There are some issues coming up for you this week that you need to deal with. You need to protect yourself using any means necessary, but you also need to be smart about it. Okay? You need to be smart about it, because if you understand the way physics works, right? If you throw a ball, as soon as it hits the ground, it's going to bounce. And when a ball bounces, you know, it changes the path that it flows, and things can happen. Things can happen. So it's about understanding that your actions today will affect behaviors and circumstances tomorrow. So Virgo, interesting one for you. The message is that yes, there are things coming your way this week that you are going to have to tackle and face head on. Don't be afraid. Take a casual approach to it, as long as that casual approach comes with a little bit of foresight, a little bit of thinking, a little bit of strategy, and understanding the consequences, or you know, the repercussions of your actions. So you want to make sure that you're not doing stuff that's going to aggravate the bees and bring more bees and make them want to attack you even more. So it is about finding balance in your actions and your behaviors. So Virgo, interesting week for you. Sending you much love and many blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Right, Libra, hello and welcome. Let's get into your reading and see what does this week have in store for you. So we're shuffling the wonderful world of Hilda Tarot. Let's cut the deck, get it back together first of all. Let's cut the deck. And let's see, in this bag I have my story dice. We'll be calling on them just now. So Libra, card number 1 for you is the 9 of Wands. Oh, I love that card. And the second card we have for you is the 3 of Swords. Okay, so this is interesting, Libra, very interesting. So if we look at the 9 of Wands, right? So as we can see, Hilda is not, she's a bit of a voluptuous woman. She's amazing. In this 9 of Wands, she's standing behind her tree, and it's almost like she's trying to hide behind the tree. She's trying to hide from her little friend, the dog, in the back there. If you have a look, right, you can see the little puppy dog. And she's sucking her tummy in, and she's doing everything she can to make sure that she's not noticed by the dog. So she's doing everything she can to avoid being seen. Is she getting it right? I don't think so. I don't think the dog is going to take long to actually find her. So 9 of Wands is the card of trying your best, doing your best, but not maybe necessarily succeeding. 9 of Wands is the card of overexerting yourself, you know, pushing too hard, but it's also the card of understanding that you're just about there, you know, that you've just about accomplished, achieved, or the end is close. Okay, the end of the situation, the end of the circumstance, but understanding that you have done everything in your power to make it a success, to make it happen. So, you know, for all we know, Hilda's been standing there for 5 minutes. It's too cute. We have the 3 of Swords, right? And 3 of Swords, here we have Hilda. She's got a little first aid box in front of her, so she's clearly at a picnic of some kind. She's got a first aid box because obviously something has happened. There is a knife stuck in the tree. We're missing a bit of carving, so it tells us that I think she was trying to carve into the tree using the knife, and oops, the knife slipped, and she's got herself a little boo-boo. We've got a bird that's landed on the knife to come and observe the first aid that is taking place. So the Three of Swords is about something going wrong and a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort. So if I look at what's going on with these two cards, Libra, the message for you is that, you know, you're doing your absolute best. Like, honestly and truthfully, you're doing your absolute best, but things aren't quite going according to plan. The dog is going to find you standing behind the tree. Why? Because you're a little bit bigger than that tiny, tiny, tiny little tree is. And yes, your intentions are good, and you're putting out a lot of good energy, and you're putting out a lot of good thought in creating a heart and putting a heart on the tree, carving into the tree, you know, leaving a legacy. But yeah, things don't always go according to plan, and if you're not careful, excuse me, there is going to be the chance of, you know, a little cut on the finger. So keep your first aid kit handy. So the general message here, Libra, between these two cards is you're doing your best, you're working hard, you have such good intentions, you have such good ideas and strategies and thoughts and intentions, but you know, things might not go quite according to plan. Let's add from the story dice. So in this bag, I have got quite the collection of story dice. I'm going to grab 3 at random and place them down the middle here to see what they want to add to the story that we already have. Okay, so trying to give a shuffle, grabbing that one over there, turning it around, and I don't know which way it goes. I never know which way these things go. I think it goes that way. Looks like a notebook. Looks like a notebook. All right, let's grab another one, grabbing that one over there. And we have a whistle, right? We have notebook and we have a whistle. And let's get one more. What is this? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's somebody thinking. It's somebody putting their thinking cap on and thinking. All right, so Libra, the message that's coming through here. If I look at the notebook, okay, so, and you can see there's already some things written down in the notebook. What are the kind of things that we write into a notebook? I don't know about you, but I write ideas because I have one of these heads where there's constantly new ideas coming through, and they are so fleeting. Like, a new idea will come into the head, and 5 minutes later I go, oh gosh, what was that? What was that I was thinking? And the idea is gone. So a notebook is the perfect kind of place to write those things down, the things that you can't deal with or think about at that moment, something you want to come back to at a later stage. So again, considering things may go wrong, considering that you're busy, you're doing a lot, it is about recording, it is about making note of, it is about being cognizant of your environment, cognizant of the potential dangers. And if you need to record them, write them down, or just pay attention to them, then that's what you need to do. The whistle. So if you've ever played sport at school or after that or in any way, you know that the whistle is what the umpire, referee, coach, whoever it is, who is controlling and making sure that the rules are being adhered to, making sure that everybody is kept safe. They blow a whistle to attract attention, okay, to maybe something that's been done incorrectly, or to correct a behavior reaction, or just to get your attention. So what this is saying to you, Libra, is this week there is potential for things to go a little bit wrong. So you need to pay attention to your environment and your surroundings. Take note of everything that's happening and listen out for those whistles. So I'm talking about listening out for the whistle, but it may come as a person saying to you, oh, you know, be careful of that, or watch out for this. It may come as a warning label on a bottle. So the whistle might not be an actual physical whistle, but there is something that's going to alert you to potential danger, something that's going to try and attract your attention so that you can get back on track with what you need to be. And make sure that you're thinking clearly. Make sure that you're thinking clearly. Make sure that you've got the thoughts correct in your head, that you're not being led astray with everything that's going on around you. I also do want to add with this one is don't get so caught up in your head that we stop the action, that we stop the living, that we stop the behavior. So it is about being mindful, all right, of your reactions, of your behavior, of your environment, of what's happening around you, being mindful of all of that, listening for the warnings, listening for the potential issues, but at the same time recognizing and acknowledging that you are doing your absolute best. But understand that this is going to be a tricky week for you, Libra. This is going to be a tricky week. Things may not quite go according to plan, but I do think you've got a first aid kit. You're able to patch yourself up and carry on. And again, isn't that what happens on the sports field when they blow the whistle and they call a timeout because maybe there's an injury or something? Everybody gets something to drink. Everybody gets a bandage and a plaster, and boof, off they go, and everybody's fine again. So there may be some disruptions this week, but actually, as long as you remain level-headed, as long as you remain mindful, I do think you're going to be absolutely fine. Libra, much love and many blessings from my heart to yours, and until we connect again, take care. Scorpio, hello and welcome. Let's get into your reading and see what does this week ahead have in store for you. So Scorpio, we are going to give the World of Hilda Tarot a shuffle, just a single shuffle because this deck has been shuffled quite a lot today already. Let's cut the deck over there. And in this bag over here, I do have my story dice. I'll be pulling out some story dice for you shortly, but let's do the tarot first. So Scorpio, our first card we have is the Moon. A major arcana card of the Moon, and our second card we have is also a major arcana card. Oh, this is interesting. Two major arcana cards. Sorry, story dice, give me a bit of space. Two major arcana cards, and what's interesting is I noticed that both pictures she's looking towards the left, but in this one her face is actually, she's facing towards the left, but in this one she's looking in the opposite direction. And with both of them, just the imagery, right? So well, let me not jump ahead of myself. Let's start with the Moon card. All right, Scorpio, let's get on track here. So the Moon card, if we look at the artwork, here we have Hilda. She is in her nightie. She's got her slippers on her feet. She's got her curlers in her hair, so clearly she had, gone into bed for the night or whatever. We can see that it's nighttime in the sky, and she's heard a noise outside. She's been hearing a rustling, she's been hearing a noise, and she's come outside to investigate what the noise is. The only thing that she has that she can use to illuminate or to shed light on the situation is this little candle that she's carrying. And I want to show you how little the candle is. I mean, it is a tiny, tiny, tiny little candle. And anyway, Hilda's gone to investigate the noise. Now, if you've ever had to do that yourself, you will know how frightening and scary it is, especially when you don't know what it is. You don't know what's out there. I mean, you could be facing very scary something. But it's having that courage and that confidence to take whatever little light that you have and to step out into the unknown and to investigate something that could potentially be quite scary. What Hilda hasn't seen yet in this card is there is the perpetrator. Can you see that? There is the perpetrator right there behind her, and it almost looks like he's pulling a tongue at her too. So there is the little perpetrator, and he is who's been making a noise. He is who's been rustling the leaves, and and she's gone to investigate what's making it, and she doesn't realize that it's her trusty companion, her little puppy dog. So the Moon is the card of facing your fears, of understanding the potential dangers, but still doing it anyway, but being cautious about it. Even though you're petrified, even though your knees are shaking and you're absolutely afraid, but understanding that you need to investigate, you need to see, because you're not going to rest, you're not going to stop, you're not going to be able to sleep peacefully until you know what has triggered or caused that sound. So that is exactly what the Moon card is. The Moon card is about digging deep and finding the courage and the confidence to explore and to investigate something that has the potential to cause you fear. We have the Strength card, and there she is peeling onions. She has an entire bag of onions on the floor here by her, all right, and in her pot she is cutting onions. And again, if you've ever cut onions, you know how it makes you cry. So she's doing it anyway, but she's looking away. So she's active and she's involved, even though it's causing her discomfort, even though it's causing her a little bit of suffering, but she's persisting and persevering, and she has the courage and the confidence to continue peeling and cutting her onions because she knows she needs them. So Scorpio, the message that's coming through from both of these cards is courage. confidence and the ability to move on and to explore and to do what needs to be done, even if you're afraid, even if you know that it's going to end in tears. You know, it's about having that courage and that confidence to do what needs to be done. So that is the message for you this week, Scorpio. That is what this week is going to be about. Let's add some story dice to the equation and see what we get. So in this bag, I have a collection of story dice. I'm going to grab 3. I'm going to place them down the center here and see what they want to contribute to the story that we have. So just grabbing from the bottom, that one over there, and oh, look at that. Okay, cute little face that goes, oh, I don't know quite what's going on. Look at those eyes. Okay, let's grab another one. That one over there. Oh, we have another face, and this time the face is laughing, and it looks like it's almost vibrating, laughing and vibrating. Okay, and we need one more. I promise you there's not just faces in here. Okay, I'm going to take that one over there. And oh, we have, like, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at, but it's a person that looks like they're in an absolute shock. That's what I get from this, absolute shock. Maybe actually slightly electrocuted. I'm actually going to go with slightly electrocuted. Right, move those out the way. All right, Scorpio, let's have a look and see what the story is. So I think the message that's coming through from this one, so this one with the swirly eyes gives me the feeling of dizzy, of confusion, of not really knowing what's right in front of you. Okay, so this week you are going to have to climb out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to, you know, dig deep to find courage and confidence. And it's basically saying to you that when you explore what's happening around you, when you go investigating and cutting, there's going to be so much confusion and so much disarray is the word that I'm hearing, disarray in your life, that you're not going to know which way to turn. Like it's going to be a little bit all encompassing. It's going to be a little bit overwhelming, and it's going to be like, I don't know where to go. Maybe the noises, because as you step in towards the noise, maybe you're hearing a noise behind you, but there's a noise in front of you and a noise behind you, and it's like, I don't know where to go. And with the onions, it's like it's just never ending. So just when you think you've reached into the bag and grabbed the last onion, you recognize that there's another 4 onions, and there's just this continuous, repetitive, ongoing kind of struggle. This is Spirit saying to you, take it with a pinch of salt. This is Spirit saying to you, you know what, try and find the funny in the situation. Because if you don't find the funny in the situation, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to make you feel like you're being electrocuted. I don't know if you've ever been zapped by electricity, you know, and that tingling feeling that you get for a long time afterwards. You know, it's not fun. Nobody wants to have that. So I think the message that's coming through here for you is Spirit saying to you, you know, try and take everything, bring your sense of humor to the party, okay? But bring your sense of humor to the party, because you know what, it's too unreal. It's too crazy. So bring your sense of humor to the party. Try and find the funny in everything. Like when you recognize that it is, excuse me, bumping that one, when you recognize that it is just the dog, laugh at it. Don't get angry at the dog. Don't be, you know, frustrated with the dog. Just try and find the funny in it. And even with the onions, you know, even though the onions are causing you to cry as you cut the onions, try and find the funny in it. Try and laugh at it. Because otherwise it's going to leave you feeling rather frazzled. And nobody wants to be feeling frazzled. Nobody wants to have that experience. So it's about being very much conscious of how we react and respond to the circumstances, because there are going to be some interesting experiences for you this week. But it depends on how you go into it and the energy that you put into it as to how you come out of this week feeling. So if you continue as you are, you may come out of this week feeling a bit frazzled, trying to deal with it all. But if you add in a dollop of humor, dollop is a word I've used a lot this week. Add in a dose of humor, a dose of laughter, a dose of funny, and maybe you can avoid being a little bit shocked and frazzled. Scorpio, sending you so much love and many blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Hello, Sag. Welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes. Let's get the cards shuffled and see what does this week ahead have in store for you. Shuffling the World of Hilda Tarot. Okay, that one's gone sideways. Right, let's cut the deck. And let's draw. In this bag over here, I do have my story dice. We'll be grabbing some from there shortly. But Sagittarius, card number 1 for you this week is the Hermit. The Hermit has made a few appearances this week. And the second card we have for you is the Queen of Swords. All right, Hilda is amazing and fabulous. Let's have a look and see what she's saying to you. So, Sag, if we look at the Hermit card, so the Hermit is the card of introspection. The Hermit is the card of solitude. The Hermit is the card of finding happiness, peace, and bliss within yourself, not needing any kind of external stimulation. Queen of Swords, she is very much precise. Precise is the word that I want to use with the Queen of Swords. So she's very precise. She knows exactly what she needs to do, how she needs to do it. You know, she's got the skill, she's got the talent, she's got the ability, and she's a kind of no-nonsense kind of person, because she just sort of gets in and gets done, gets involved and gets done whatever it is that needs doing. So what is the message for you this week? So Sag, if I look at the Hermit card, so here we have Hilda standing. She's clearly standing outside in the nighttime. She's gazing up at the stars, and she is, you know, if you've ever done that, if you ever stood outside and looked at the stars, it just puts you and your life and your situation and your circumstances into perspective. And that's exactly what Hilda's doing. Now, she's standing outside. She's got her trusty companion with her, her little puppy dog. She's got this tiny little globe, right? This little lantern with her. And if you look at the light that the shadow, or that this lantern is casting, you can see it's not a very big light. So that means that when she's finished putting things into perspective, and when she's finished stargazing, and she's ready to return, you know, home, or return to wherever it is she comes from, she can't see very far ahead of herself. So she needs to, like, literally just see 1 foot at a time, because as she takes a step, so the light moves, and so the light moves, and so the light moves. So she's not going to see 10 meters in front of her. She's not going to see 20 meters in front of her. She might be lucky if she sees half a meter, 1 meter in front of her. And what she does, though, even though she can't see completely where it is she's going and what's ahead of her, she's trusting, and that nothing is going to be in her way, and that she's not going to fall, and she's not going to trip, and everything's going to be okay. So the Hermit is the card of introspection, as I said, but it's also the card of utilizing whatever you have, even if it doesn't give you the full picture. And this is exactly the message for you, Sag. So this week you're going to spend a lot of time in contemplation. Okay, reflection and contemplation. You're going to spend a fair bit of time looking at 2023. What has it been about? What have you achieved? How have you accomplished it? You know, and then you're going to be thinking, oh, but what about 2024? But your light is not shining into 2024 yet. So as much as we're moving towards 2024, taking step and step and step and step, you can't necessarily see very far ahead. So it is about being a little bit more introspective about that. Queen of Swords, though, she's sitting in her PJs, and obviously there is a hole that's developed somewhere, and she now needs to do some patchwork. And she is doing precision work, okay, because she's threading the eye of a needle. And look at her, even squinting. Isn't she cute? She's just so fabulous. So she's trying to thread the eye of the needle, and it takes precision. It takes being absolutely, you know, precise in your actions and your behaviors. So Sag, for you this week, that is important. To pay homage to where you are, to acknowledge where you are, to put things into perspective, but then to understand that each step that you take, you have to be incredibly precise. Because if you're not precise, if you step outside of that illuminated area, you potentially could stand in a hole. You could stand on a stone, on a rock. You could stand on something that's going to cause some harm to you. So you need to be incredibly precise and understand, put things into perspective, and to know exactly what's going on in your life. Let's draw from the story dice. So in my bag, I have quite a few story dice. Let me turn it around that you can see. I'm going to grab at random, and I'm going to place them down the middle, and we're going to see what they want to add or contribute to the message that we already have. Okay, so Sag, just giving a shuffle, grabbing one at random. Oh, we have a maze. Okay, like a labyrinth. We have a maze. Okay, I like. Okay, let's get another one. And we have a sports jersey, a soccer sports jersey or something like that, with the number 3 on it. And let's go again. Oops, I dropped it, grabbing that one. Oh, and we have the whistle that has also made an appearance already this week. Okay, so we have our 3 story dice, right? Let's spread out and neaten up a little bit. So what is the maze? The maze means, like, if you've ever been through a labyrinth or ever been through a maze, you know, it's that feeling of, will I ever get out? Will I ever find my way? It's so long. It takes so long. And I've been walking for ages, and, you know, you make a wrong turn and then you have to trace your steps back. And then, so it's 6 steps back and 4 steps forward kind of thing, you know. And I think that's exactly how you're feeling at the moment. I think the labyrinth and the maze and, you know, that kind of, I want to say lost in translation. That whole feeling of, you know, I don't know where I am, and I don't know if I'm in the right place, and I don't know if I'm moving in the right direction, and I don't know, and I don't know, and I don't know. Hyperventilation. So maybe this is why with the Hermit card, notice that she has stopped. She is not actively moving. She has stopped and she's looking up. Why? Because she's getting things into perspective. She's getting her bearings. And maybe that's why you've got the labyrinth coming through, Sag, telling you this week that when you get overwhelmed, when you need to be precise, before you jump into action of precision, you need to stop. You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You need to get perspective on your situation, and you need to get your bearings. But you can't do that if you keep moving forward. You need to stop. You need to look around. You need to take in the sights, the sounds, the smells, the everything, in order to gain perspective, to know which is the best way forward. Looking at our sports jersey over here, I have no idea what position number 3 is. I don't know if it's any relevance. I'm not really into sports to that extent. But what is a sports shirt? A sports shirt is obviously worn by a player who is in a team sport. In other words, there's lots of people involved. It's not just me, myself, and I. It's a group effort. It's teamwork. It's all of that. It's understanding that my job is this, somebody else's job is that, somebody else's job is that, and together, this is what we do. So understanding the role that you play within the bigger picture is what that represents to me. So again, Sag, it's putting things into perspective. So if you're frustrated with somebody else in your life, if you're frustrated with a work colleague who doesn't seem to be performing the way that they should, instead of focusing on what they are or are not doing, focus on what you are or are not doing, because maybe their role is different. Maybe their instructions are different. Maybe their method is different, and that's okay. As long as you are being precise, as long as you are sticking within the precision of what you need, everything's going to be okay. We also then have this, gosh, what's the word? Whistle. We have this whistle over here, and the whistle is often blown by the coach, the referee, you know, somebody involved in managing, controlling, and running the activity. And they blow the whistle either when there's been somebody's done something wrong, or whether we've reached time and we need to stop, or if somebody's injured, or, you know, if there's a penalty or something. But a whistle is the sound that we all respond and react to stop whatever it is we're doing. Time out. The whistle is acknowledging the timeout. And during that timeout, what do? We put things into perspective. We gain a better view as to where we are, what we're doing, and also maybe paying attention to that of our teammates. Okay, so Sag, the very long message for you this week, and the message is saying that this is a busy week for you. You feel like you are running around in circles. You feel like there's just no end in sight for what it is that you're doing. You need to be paying attention to your actions and not to the actions of anybody else. You need to make sure that when things get overwhelming for you, that you stop and pay attention. Okay, gather your bearings, gather your bearings, gather your bearings, because the work that you do, whatever it is you do, when it is you do it, you need to be incredibly precise in what it is that you're doing. And if you can follow that advice, I think you're going to be absolutely fine. So Sag, much love and many blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Capricorn, hello and welcome. Let's get into your reading and see what does this week have in store for you. So Capricorn, starting off with the World of Hilda Tarot, giving it a shuffle. Let's cut the deck and see, grab some cards for you. Right, deck is cut there. In this bag over here, I have my story dice. We'll be bringing story dice into the reading as soon as we have read the tarot. So card number 1 for you, Capricorn, we have got the High Priestess. And there we have Hilda taking a bath. Card number 2 for you, we have the 6 of Cups. All right, and there she is after her bath in her PJs. Life is good. All right, so Capricorn, let's have a look. So this week, we've got the High Priestess. And yes, there she is sitting in her bath. I mean, that, I don't even know if that thing is called a bath, but it is. We've got the kettle going over here, which is what she's using to heat up her water. We've got some bubbles and some creams and some stuff. She's got her sponge. Not only is she washing herself down, but she's having fun. And she's also, you know, spending time with herself, if I can put it that way. Okay. So High Priestess is about recognizing and acknowledging the fact that you know what you're doing, that you have all the answers, all the insight, all the guidance that you need, and all you need to do is listen to it. So you know when you clean. Like there's like there are rules, there are guidelines as to how to know when you're clean. But you know you're the one living in your body, so you're the one that knows the truth. You're the one that knows the truth of, have I cleaned everywhere? Have I scrubbed under my feet? Have I scrubbed under my arms? Have I done all the relevant things? And it's also about just bringing a little bit of joy to it. And you know, every time we bath, we don't jump onto social media and announce to the world, yay, I'm clean, I've done my thing. So it is about, well, at least we shouldn't be doing things like that. But the High Priestess is about that inner knowing. Okay, and just that feeling that it gives you. So for me, just a little bit of a personal share, we had no water in our neighborhood for about 6 days this week, and it has now been restored. And you know what, as much as we've been washing and cleaning, it just isn't the same as having a bath or having a shower. And you know that feeling when you're done, oh my gosh, there is just nothing like it. And that's High Priestess energy for you this week, Capricorn. So it's that feeling of knowing that you've done a good job, and it makes you feel good physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, all of the other lees, right? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel fabulous. And, you know, it's not that you have to run out and share it with the world, but it is just that inner knowing of, all is good in my world. And that is what the High Priestess is saying to you. So Capricorn, this is going to be a week of those moments. And they're going to be very, I'm going to call them solitary moments, all right? They're not going to be big moments shared with everybody around you. They're going to be very solitary moments. They're going to be very introspective moments of feeling satisfied, of feeling accomplished, of feeling happy. And you might not have anybody around that who would understand, appreciate, and value. So it is just about holding that into yourself, holding those secrets to yourself as to, you know, the feelings that you have, and just being grateful and happy with it. Because that's also Six of Cups. So Six of Cups, as I said, here we have Hilda. She is sitting in her PJs, and she has opened up a box of memories. She's opened up a box of photos. She's showing us a photo of a baby, and she's pointing to herself and saying, that was me. You know, that was me. Once upon a time, look how cute I was. That was me as a baby. She's going down the lane of reminiscing. Okay, there's nobody around her. So yes, she's showing us the photo of her as a baby, but otherwise, you know, it's a kind of personal moment. It's a moment of inner reflection, High Priestess, inner reflection and inner understanding and inner happiness and gratitude. And that's really what this week is going to be for you, Capricorn. And I know that we're building towards Capricorn season. You know, we're building towards Capricorn season for birthdays and things like that. So when we start getting towards an end of a year, we start putting things into perspective. We start looking back and asking ourselves, you know, has it been good? Do I feel amazing? Do I feel fabulous? Do I feel like I've accomplished or achieved? So that is going to be the theme for you for this week, Capricorn, is just going down memory lane, looking at your own personal achievements, accomplishments, and asking yourself whether you feel satisfied, whether you feel good enough. And again, this is not external. This is all solitary. This is all you, yourself, and that's it. Okay, let's add some story dice to the mix. So in my bag, I have a whole collection of story dice. So let's give them a shuffle. I'm going to grab randomly. Oopsie, and okay, I dropped it. I have to grab again. Grabbing one, turning it around a few times in the bag, and what do we have here? What is this? Oh, it's an old-fashioned telephone, I think. I don't know which way it goes. I'm going to put it that way. Old-fashioned telephone. I don't think it goes that way. I'm very confused. Is it a telephone? Am I wrong, friends? I'm going with telephone. If you can think of it as being something else, comment below and let me know. I'm going with telephone, and I just don't know which is the way up. I'm doing that way. Okay, so we're going with old-fashioned telephone. Right, let's grab another dice, turn it around a few times, and oh, we've got, what's his name? From Looney Tunes, the Roadrunner. Is that the Roadrunner? Is that the Roadrunner? Let's get one more. One more dice. Okay, I want one in this far corner here. Grabbing that one over there, turning it around a few times. And we have this one over here. What is that? Oh my word, this is terrible. What is that? Okay, I see it now. There we go. So it's a circle. We've got 4 people, 4 players, and we've got a net. So it's teamwork. We've got grumpy and grumpy. We've got smiley and we've got confused. Okay, so 4 different emotions all in one, which I understand now, puts everything into perspective. Okay, so this telephone, all right, it's an old-fashioned telephone. That's what I'm sticking with. That's what I'm sticking with, okay? An old-fashioned telephone, and obviously old-fashioned telephones, or telephones in general, are used to share news, used to contact, to communicate, to express, to talk to our friends, our family members, to share our news. The fact that this is such an old telephone tells you that it probably doesn't work anymore, and that's the message that I'm getting from this. Because remember, everything that's happening to you this week, Capricorn, is internal, okay? Solitary, only for your head, for your heart, for your mind, for your ears, for your everything. We're not sharing. So the fact that it's come through as an old telephone that's probably not working is exactly it, because everything that's happening is for you, by you, with you. Okay. We then have the Roadrunner. And, you know, he's the one that goes beep, beep, and he you know, chases the wolf. He chases the Roadrunner, right? I'll get the words. I'll get the words eventually. Bear with me. So he's the wolf that chases the Roadrunner. And, you know, he's continuous. He's like a dog with a bone, just ongoing and repetitive. And, you know, he's never going to stop and think. He's never going to strategize. He's just going to be go, 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 go the whole time. Does he ever achieve his goals? Does he ever accomplish anything? Does he ever reach and achieve what he wants? No, he does not. No, he does not. So again, what is the message for you here, Capricorn, is that we must not be like him. We must take a minute. We must take a minute to reflect. We must take a minute to reflect. We need to be internal, and we need to ask ourselves, is this behavior an action? Is this doing me any favors? Am I achieving anything? Am I growing? Am I developing? Am I becoming a better version of myself by doing this stuff repetitively? And I think you're going to find in some aspects, and it might be the oversharing, okay, because that's what's coming through, is the oversharing. So maybe we need to not be oversharing so much this week, and maybe that's the message. Internalize, keep it to yourself. Secrets are best kept internally with yourself instead of oversharing, because the oversharing is not getting you anywhere. And then this one, like I say, really just puts it all into motion. So here we have, I'm going to call them 4 very different emotions, 4 very different energies. They are encased in one circle, which means that they are together. So these could be the 4 emotions that you feel, that you experience, that you go through. And even then they are divided, subdivided again. So it's about understanding what emotions you're going to allow and what emotions you're not going to allow, what emotions you're going to release and what emotions you're going to internalize. But it's about recognizing all the emotions that you possess, all the emotions that you carry, and knowing when is the right time to let them out and when is the right time to keep them in. And in all honesty, this week, Capricorn, the things that are important, relevant, and significant to you, this is not the week for sharing with your loved ones. This is not the week for sharing with your friends. This is not the week for putting it out on social media. I feel like this is the week for you to spend quiet contemplation with yourself, recognizing, acknowledging, and understanding. We don't want to just keep going and going and going and going if we're not actually getting anywhere, because the telephone system is broken, and that's doing you a favor. That is doing you a favor. So Capricorn, interesting one for you. Very much a week of self. You know, I'm just going to leave it as that. Very much a week of self. And if you can focus on that, I think you're going to come out of this week and come out of this year a better, happier person. Much love and many blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, Capricorn. Aquarius, hello and welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes. Let's pick up the World of Hilda Tarot and let's give her a shuffle and see what does this week have in store for you. In the bag over here on my right hand side, I do have my story dice. which we will grab some from towards the end of the reading to add to the message. So from World of Hilda Tarot, card number 1 for you, Aquarius, we have got the Queen of Swords. She has made a few appearances this week already, which is fabulous. And your second card is the Six of Pentacles. Oh, that's interesting. That is so interesting. All right, so let's have a look and see what is Hilda up to in these two cards, Aquarius. So we have got Queen of Swords. So there Hilda sits in her PJs. She's obviously just got out the shower, out the bath, whatever it might be. She's wanting to turn in for the night, and then she suddenly notices that she's got a hole, okay? So she needs to do some mending. So what she's doing at the moment, I'll actually bring it forward to show you, what she's doing at the moment is she's trying to look at the expression on her face. Isn't Hilda just fabulous? She is trying to thread a needle, okay? And that is very precise work. That is very, you know, I don't know about you, I cannot thread a needle first time. It takes me 12 attempts, you know. The eyesight is bad, you know, the precision in the fingers is not good. There are so many things that are wrong. But anyway, Queen of Swords is all about precision work. She recognizes what needs to be done. She's come up with the strategy. She's got out her yarns and her threads and her whatever it is. And she's getting on and doing it. She could have waited until tomorrow. She could have just climbed into bed and thought, okay, you know what, I'll deal with it tomorrow. But she's like, no, let's deal with it now, okay? So it's about precision. It's about timing. It's about, you know, let's just get things done. Because the quicker we get it done, the quicker it's behind you, the quicker you can climb into bed and relax. So that is energy of Queen of Swords. We also have the Six of Pentacles for you, Aquarius. And then we have Hilda. She's sitting on a log, all right? A tree that's been cut. She's sitting on a log. She's got a can in front of her here, and I want to show you. And the can looks like it's full of cherries. So she's maybe cherry picking. And as she sits there, and I don't know if this is a cherry tree. I don't know what cherry trees look like. But there is, she's got a cherry in her mouth, and here comes a squirrel. And she's been sitting there. It's almost like she's taunting the squirrel. She's like, come, come, come. Why? Because she wants to make friends. The bird is screaming. And the bird is going, no, get away, get away. And Hilda's like, come, squirrel. I want to be your friend. Let's play. Let's have some fun. So Six of Pentacles is the card of helping others. It's the card of generosity. Because she's got enough. Okay, she's picked herself a whole bucket full of cherries. So, you know, to share one with the squirrel is no harm, no foul. So this is going to be quite a busy week for you, Aquarius. This is going to be a week where you are going to have to knuckle down and get things done with precision and understanding and recognizing what it is that you have in excess that you can comfortably and easily share with others, because sometimes one little cherry makes the world of difference to a squirrel. You know, to you it makes absolutely no difference. It doesn't affect your life whether you're a cherry down or not, but that squirrel, that one cherry is just, I mean, maybe that cherry can feed him for 2 days. I don't know what the situation is with cherries, right? But it's about recognizing and understanding that which you have in excess and sharing with others, but making sure that you're being pretty precise. So, you know, it's not like she's moving her head from left to right waiting for the squirrel to come. She's keeping perfectly still because she knows that any movement is going to scare the squirrel away. So she is being very precise in the way that she's sitting, in the way that she's not moving, you know, in order to be generous and to be kind. So she is being considerate of the squirrel and, you know, just getting done what she needs to do. She's still getting her job done. She's still picking her cherries and she's still being pretty precise about it. You know, the instruction was get a bucket of cherries, and she's got a bucket of cherries. So she is being precise and she is getting her work done, but at the same time, she's being kind, generous, and supportive as well. And that's important, Aquarius. That's important for you. Let's add some story dice. So in this bag, I have my story dice. I have quite a few of them. So I'm going to just randomly grab, I'm going to place them down the center here to see what they want to add to the story that we already have. So let's grab one Aquarius, grabbing from down the bottom there, turning it around a few times in my hand, and oh, we've got a rocket. We have got a rocket, and this is not a rocket on the ground. We can see by the fire and the smoke underneath at the back here that the rocket has already been propelled into the sky. Okay, let's get another one. There we go. Turned it around a few times. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? I don't know which way it goes. That way. It takes me a while. So here you have you knocking on a door and creating that vibration of the sound. So knocking on a door. Okay, knocking on a door. And let's get another one. Our last one. Turning it around a few times. Oh, and we have got a parachute, but it's a medical parachute. Okay, right, bag is done. Okay, so Aquarius, what is the rocket telling you? The rocket is telling you that once you've started something, there's no going back. Once you've started something, you can't suddenly just, okay, you know what, cancel, scrap, undo, revert back. Once that motion has begun, you have to just follow through. Okay, so there is no stopping. It's like once you've knocked on the door, you can't pretend that you're not standing on the doorstep. So knocking on the door, why do we knock on the door? Because we want somebody to let us in. We want to gain entry, we want to gain access. So things are already in motion for you, Aquarius, this week. This precision and help, it's something that you've already set in motion. So there's no stopping it this week. There's no going back this week. So you need to keep that forward momentum. You need to keep that forward trajectory going. Knocking on the door is you offering the help, is you approaching the person who needs the help, who needs support, who needs whatever. So you've got to take that initiative and do the knocking in order to trigger the event, the situation, and the circumstance. The door is not going to open by itself unless you initiate that or indicate, sorry, that you want to be let in. And then we have this medical parachute. So in times of war, medical parachutes are often, dropped from airplanes to the people on the ground to offer them provisions, to offer them supplies, to offer them, whatever it is that they need to heal the sick, to deal with the wounded. So this is what you're doing. So Aquarius, for you this week, there is a lot of precision in all that you do, because you can't just drop these randomly. You can't just knock on a random door, and you can't just randomly shoot rockets into the sky. So there is a precision. There is about getting on with it, okay? Like I said to you, she could have waited until the morning to mend her pajamas, but she's decided, no, I'm doing it now. So get going, get busy, get doing, but make sure that you are precise in all that you're doing, because otherwise it's all just wasted. Assisting others, being supportive, being kind, and being generous is absolutely the order of the day. And again, something that you need to trigger, something that you need to initiate, and something. So there is help available. Okay, there is help available. You've just got to look for it, and then when you find it, grab it and utilize it, but offer assistance to others. So interesting week for you, Aquarius, and it seems like the week is about giving, supporting, and being kind and generous more than anything else, which I think is fabulous, especially at this time of the year, because how many people don't have? How many people are struggling? And if you can offer assistance, even if it is just to knock on their door and have a conversation, even if it is just to give one little cherry, do whatever you can. And just know that, you're being blasted into space, which means that the repercussions or the end results of your kindness and your generosity, could have huge impacts on your future. So accept the help that's being offered, give help to those that need, and just have an amazing week. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, Aquarius. Pisces, hello and welcome. Let's get into your reading and see what does this week have in store for you. So we are working with the world of Hilda Tarot. Let's give her a shuffle. We're going to cut the deck and draw out some cards. In this bag over here, I have my story dice. Once we've looked at the tarot, we will bring the story dice out to add to the message. But let's see, Pisces, card number 1 for you from Hilda. You have got the Knight of Wands. Isn't she fabulous? She's catching those butterflies, and no fence is going to get in her way. She's climbing fences. She's doing what she needs to do. She needs those butterflies. And you also have the Star card. How fabulous. I love it. Isn't it? So something that jumps at me between these two cards, because, I mean, they're not related in any way, shape, or form, but she's sitting on a thing. She's sitting on a thing, climbing over a thing, right? Around her feet, we have butterflies, and around her feet, we have fishies. So it's almost like, and what are our feet? Our feet are the thing that connect us to the earth, even though here she's, got feet in the water, but the feet are the thing that connect us to the earth. It's what keeps us grounded, keeps us rooted. And on both of these, her feet are not on the ground. Here she's in the air and there she's in the water, but we have these animals, we have butterflies and we have fish. We have an abundance around her feet, which tells you that there is an abundance of grounded energy around you, okay? And maybe you're not as grounded as you should be because we're up in the sky and we're in the water. That's just my initial take, but let's look at the cards individually, and then we will add some story dice to the story. So Pisces, Knight of Wands, and as I said to you, I mean, just look at her expression on her face, because gosh, we do love Hilda. Look at her. She's like, oh, 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 exciting. She's jumping the fence as fast as she can. She's got grazed knees and everything, and she's trying to catch the butterflies. So she's trying to, and the butterflies are obviously moving away from her, and she's chasing them with all her might. She's got enthusiasm. She's eager. She's not paying attention to anything else that's happening around her. She is laser focused on catching butterflies. Why does she want to catch a butterfly? Because it's fun. Okay. She has her reasons. We don't need to understand her reasons. And here we have butterflies on my bag as well. So yeah, she's catching the butterflies because it's the moment. She's engrossed in the moment. She is so caught up in the moment. She's not allowing herself to be distracted by anything. And then with the star card, again, that facial expression. Look at the joy on her face. Look at the excitement and the enthusiasm on her face. Isn't it just fabulous? She's got her feet in the water, and it's these fishies that eat the dead skin off your feet. I don't know what they're called, but it's tickling her. And she's getting joy and pleasure out of it, you know. So she's in both of these. She's just so in the moment. She is just so caught up in enjoying, like truly, truly enjoying what life has to offer. She's not thinking about supper and tomorrow and next year and next week and next anything. She's very much focused in the now. Like in this moment, this is what I want to do because it brings me joy. And that's what's important. The star card is the card of healing. It is the card of renewal. It is the card of hope. It is the card that tells you everything's going to be okay. But in order for everything to be okay, you need to have some fun. You need to just be so in that space of now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, in that space of now. And you need to enjoy whatever is happening. So anything and everything that you're doing, Pisces, do it with enthusiasm. Do it with excitement. Do it with passion. Okay, and giggle. If it tickles, giggle. If it tickles, giggle. All right, let's add some story dice. So in my bag, I have many, many, many dices, die, and let's shuffle. I'm going to grab, oh, sorry, star card, I keep bumping it. I'm going to grab one at random and put it on the table, turning it around. And what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Okay, it's a throttle. I want to call it an airplane throttle. Okay, so picking up some speed, right? We're going to put that one there. Let's grab another die into this corner, turning it around a few times. Oh, we have day and night. We have day and night. Okay. One more. Taking that one over there, turning it that way around, and what do we have? We have jumping for joy. I have no idea what it is. We don't have a face. And when you see these little stripes, it normally means like a vibration, like a, you know, nodding or shaking your head from side to side. And it looks like they're dancing. Okay, we're going with dancing. All right. We're going with dancing. All right, so Pisces, if we have a look at what we have, what is the throttle telling you? It's telling you that whatever you're doing in life, do it at full throttle, because that's exactly what Hilda's doing. You know, even though she's sitting and doing nothing, she is full throttle enjoying what she's doing. She's allowing full throttle access to her feet. She's allowing herself to run and to engage and to have fun and to chase at full throttle. So she's not doing anything half-heartedly. And it's interesting because here we've got half-hearted, right? Because a day is made up of half of day and half of night. That is how we equate a 24-hour period in our lives, half day, half night. And we're always trying to find balance. We're always trying to find, you know, equilibrium in everything that we are. But this is Spirit saying to you this week, Pisces, don't worry about that. Don't worry about blending opposites. Don't worry about blending night and day, whatever it is that you're doing. So if you're in the daytime, we're going to full throttle enjoy it. If we're in the nighttime, we're going to full throttle enjoy it. Whatever your activities are, we're going to full throttle enjoy it. We're going to worry about balance later, because it's when you throw yourself into your activities, when you throw yourself into your adventures, that is actually how you find balance in your life. But when you're constantly focusing on balance, you're immediately unbalanced, because your focus on balance is unbalancing you. But when you do everything with gusto, with enthusiasm, with excitement, with some dance moves thrown in for good measure, that is how you find balance. So for me personally, dancing is huge, okay? And that's also why I'm decided that this is a dancing person. Okay, dancing is huge for me, because if I'm not in a good space emotionally, mentally, you know, a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a dance, a little bit of a whatever. Yes, dancing means that there's good music, and I think music is really the trigger, but dancing just gets the body moving, gets the flow going, and it just brings energy and vibrance and enthusiasm to everything that we are and everything that we do. So we need to get moving. And again, I know you say, but yeah, she's sitting still. She's sitting still, but she's giggling. The movement is coming here by her feet, by the thing that grounds her and connects her to the earth. So Pisces, for you, this is an exciting week. This is a vibrant week. This is an enthusiastic week. This is a week where you must do nothing at half measures. This is a week where you must throw yourself 100% into everything, but it's also a week to get moving at full throttle. All right, get moving at full throttle. Do not try and find balance in all that you do. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your action is, whatever your activity is, throw yourself into it 100%. And if you do that, Pisces, I think you're in for a fabulous week ahead. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, Pisces, take care.